so today we are going to be proving why translations are always Etch-a-Sketch isometries. So first I'm going to start out with just giving you a few definitions. So a translation is moving a point a fixed distance in a fixed direction. And an isometry is a transformation that preserves distance. So let's say I have the point here AB and then a point here CD. So if I wanted to translate, it means I'd be moving these points fixed distance in a fixed direction, both of these points. But to make it be an isometry, I want this distance to be the same as their distance that I'm moving them to. So to start out, let's say I have my points A, B here, and C, D. So let's say I wanted to move them in this fixed direction. Okay, both the same direction. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to label everything, and this side is this direction over here is D1, this distance is D2. Same over here, this one is D1, this to the right is D1, to up is D2. So basically we have to figure out the initial distance of these points first to make sure that our final distance is the same as that. So in order to find the final distance, what we are going to have is we're going to have like the distance times, or the distance of A to B to C, D. So how we find that is we have an equation that is A minus C, because they are both the x values of the point, plus B minus D, because they're both the y values, right? So in order to figure out this initial distance that they are away from each other, I'm going to want to measure the distance going to the right, A minus C, and then the distance that goes up or down, B minus D, okay? So then we know that once we figure out this distance, we want to make sure the final distance is the same. So now, let's say we translated it up in our direction that we want to, so now we're going to figure out, the final distance. So basically what we have here is we have our distance, A plus our D1, or our distance, and then B plus our distance, our second distance, and then we have the same thing as C plus our first distance, and then D plus our second distance. So basically what that kind of translates into is A plus our first distance minus C plus our first distance, right? Because they both are moving in the same direction, or the first distance, and then the B plus, or then plus the B plus the second distance, right? Because they are moving, they're the y's, and minus the D plus the second distance. So basically what that translates into is, because we have like these D distance will cancel out because we know like the direction. So basically what it turns into is A minus C plus B minus D. And if these two distances are the same, then we know that it is an isometry. And we know, because we figured out these two equations for translations, we know that they always work. And so in Etch-a-Sketch, we know that translations are always isometries because of this equation, and because the distance will always be preserved through translations and through the equation.